Any great team needs a great coach, and New York City, particularly Brooklyn, has produced more than its share. Doug Moe began his coaching career as an ABA assistant under Larry Brown. The style coaches had from New York may not be as sophisticated as the city's guards, but they were no less successful.
Fight him, man! Come on, Fat!
Doug is the Denver Nuggets' all-time winningest coach.
Ben, follow your shot!
Brooklyn's Frank Layden spent 7.5 years coaching the Utah Jazz.
Nothing wrong with that.
Where he was both colorful and successful.
All right, let's go. Come on now.
People didn't take me very seriously.
A drink of water? Okay, let's taste it first. You want to taste it? Yeah. How do I know somebody didn't put something in it?
Frank Layden was a good coach, not a great coach.
He ran back to help. He didn't really help, and he really didn't get back on defense, right? You got to do one or the other.
We've made a fine living out of basketball, and I don't think I ever did anything to embarrass it. That's really what's important. But in the meanwhile,
Kevin Lockery began at the bottom when he became player coach of the losingest team ever, the 1973 Philadelphia 76ers. The next year, he proved himself with the ABA's New York Nets and ended at the top.
Lockery's a very good basketball coach. When he had good players, he won the ABA championship twice.
A coach who won 2 NBA championships is Brooklyn's Red Holzman.
I didn't want to coach, and I tried to get out of it. But they said there's nobody else, it's you.
He led the Knicks to the only 2 championships in their history.
He is the guy who makes it all kind of click. And he's the guy who has the vision of how the team should play.
This is a guy who thought that, you know, if you played together without the basketball on defense, you could play together with the basketball. And that the team growth started from this collective ability to help each other.
The Knicks teams, their championship teams of 70 and 73, resonated deeply with the New York City basketball community because the kind of basketball that Red Holzman preached and got his Knicks team to play is what we grew up with in New York.
Possibly the greatest head coach of all time in any sport also grew up in Brooklyn, Arnold "Red" Auerbach.
You think of Red Auerbach, you think of excellence.
The Boston Celtics are once again the world champions.
Red Auerbach is a guy who builds the first dynasty, 11 titles in 13 years.
Auerbach had the side, the gruff side, of course, as a coach, calling names, all that kind of stuff. But the rules are very clear. You lose one game, it's never acceptable, but he understood. You lose 2 games in a row.
Long pass into Chamberlain. Whoa.
I can't really use the terms that he would use, but basically he would say, bleep, bleep. And the practices were horrendous. They were back to the training camp days. So the message was always clear. Don't lose.
Under Red Auerbach, they rarely did.
It all starts with him, and it all starts with his vision, how the game should be played.
Where every action is directed to moving the ball into scoring position before the defense has a chance to get set.
You win a championship, you should have a cigar in your mouth.
The time finally comes for Red Auerbach to light his victory cigar.
Is this the real one? Is this what he actually would smoke and light up to rub it in?
Red Auerbach has his victory cigar out.
Do you think he would have picked a better brand? This was coaching trash talk right here, is what this was about. Of course, back then, they wouldn't allow any kind of trash talk. When Red, wow, he'll light this thing here. It was his way of saying, I got you again.